Hare Krishna. Haribol. In a way, this is going to be the last session. So, we covered up to practically 10th canto, not fully. You see, mind you, this seminar that I was giving is not to give you the full understanding. It is actually the idea about this Bhagavatam stories is to give you an overall understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam. Often I notice that generally the classes that we have on Srimad Bhagavatam in the temple, we deal with one verse and one purport. And in a way we fail to get the whole picture. Actually Bhagavatam is a continuation of different anecdotes dealing with different devotees of the Lord's own activities, and also predominantly they dealt with two things. One is the Sun dynasty and the Moon dynasty. And so that is generally the whole picture of Srimad Bhagavatam, ultimately leading to the 10th canto. And in 10th canto there is a unalloyed description of Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's activities. In 90 chapters, there is a description of the whole of Krishna's three specific pastimes. Krishna's Braja Leela or Ravan Leela, then Mathura Leela, and then Dwarka. Then 11th canto is going to Krishna is discussing with Uddhav. Actually before that, Narad Muni came to the palace of Vasudeva. And there a discussion took place between Vasudeva and Narad Muni. And Narad Muni elaborately described about the instructions that Navajogendra gave to a king called Nimi. He was the king of the Videha province. And this chapter is known as Nimi Navajogendra Sanvan. Do you remember who are those Navajogendras? How many of you remember? Okay, Rishabdev had how many sons? Who is the eldest one? Bharat Maharaj. According to Bharat Maharaj, the land, Bharatvarsha, has been named. Bharat Maharaj, then Rishabdev had 99 other sons. Out of those 99 sons, 81 became Brahmanas involved in Karmakanda activity. 9 other sons became the ruler of the 9 islands of this planet. So how many are left? 91 plus 1 plus 9. Okay, 81, 91. So we are left with 9. Those 9s are the Navajogendras, 9 best of the yogis. Let me see, their names are Kavi, Havi, Antariksha, Prabuddha, Pipalayan, Havidhan, Chamasha, Prabuddha, and Karabhajan. So they are great personalities. They travel around. And their abode is the Janaloka. Beyond the earth planet there is Maharloka, then Janaloka, beyond the earth planet Bhurloka, beyond that is Bhuvarloka, then Swargaloka. Swargaloka is the heavenly planet. So beyond Sargaloka is Maharloka, then Janaloka, then Tapaloka and Satyaloka. The sages like Pipalayan, they reside in the Janaloka. And the 4 Kumaras predominantly, they predominate in Tapaloka. And Satyaloka is the abode of Lord Brahma. So higher we go, the greater spiritual understanding we have. Up to Sargaloka, it's all for sense gratification. Whereas the Earth planet provides sense gratification as well as the means of liberation and even beyond liberation. What is beyond liberation? Don't have to think very much because you all have accepted that path. The path that you all have accepted, the path of devotion, is beyond liberation. The question is, when one is liberated from the material bondage, then what? One is liberated, but then does he have to do something? Once one becomes liberated, then what is he going to do? Is he going to eat, just sleep and sleep and sleep? Not even, I was about to say eat, because eating also involves some activity. No, beyond liberation is devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the ultimate goal of our life. So the instructions that instruction has been given time and time again. Time and time again, that instruction, that emphatically it has been pointed out. What is the goal of life? What should one do? And that will notice as you are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, that point is becoming more and more emphatically established. What is the goal of life? And we see that Vedas are not denying anything. Vedas are saying, oh well, you want to enjoy? Go ahead, enjoy. How you want to enjoy? Want to have a lot of money? Okay, this is the way to get a lot of money. You want to become the king? Go ahead, become the king. This is the way to become a king. And so forth. But then the thing is that in spite of all the enjoyment, ultimately does one become really happy? You can't deny that you haven't been enjoying. In London there is plenty of scope for enjoyment. The Western world is actually meant for enjoyment. They're very expert in making arrangements for enjoyment. And I'm sure you all have been taking part of that, taking part in that enjoyment. And how are you feeling now? Have you been satisfied with all your enjoyment? A poor man wants to be a rich man. A rich man wants to be a king. So that is the state of affairs of this material nature. No one is ever completely content with whatever he got. The reality is that when one wants something, he wants it by mistake, and when one gets something, he feels that he didn't want it. That's the reality. So, then when you get completely fried with all your enjoyment, when you realize that enjoyment is actually leading you to distress, you try to enjoy, but you end up in distress. Because the material nature is a place for suffering. So then, do you wake up, begin to wonder what needs to be done? Then you realize, when you realize that this material nature is a place of suffering, then what do you want to do? You want to get out of this material nature. First is bhakti, enjoyment, and then mukti, liberation. But then the consideration is, what is beyond liberation? You become liberated, but then what? And then comes, then one step actually comes. Siddhi, yoga. Karma kanda gives bhakti. Jnana kanda gives mukti. And this mukti is leading to, ultimately, yoga siddhi. One thing, by getting this siddhi, one will get all kinds of power. But ultimately, that also doesn't help. And then one comes, then one really wakes up. And he understands that the ultimate goal of life is to surrender to Krishna and become engaged in his devotional service. This can be allegorically or analytically explained in this way. So let's consider a prisoner in the prison. Now, a prisoner wants to get out of the prison, right? And he can get out of the prison in two ways. He can dig a tunnel out of the prison. And nowadays you also see some escape movies. Like helicopter comes and drops the rope and they climb up and the prisoners escape that way. But can the prisoner really be free escaping in this way? The police will be after him. And when he is caught, then what will happen? He'll be sent back to the prison, and this time his term for imprisonment is going to become even more severe. So this is one way of getting out of the prison. It's not the right way to get out of the prison. The other way to get out of the prison is one can write to the king and ask for amnesty, ask for forgiveness, saying that I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I promise that I won't make this mistake again. I'll abide by you. I'm soul surrendered unto you. Then the king may not release that prisoner immediately because the king also wants to check it out. So what the king will do at that time? He'll inform the prison authorities that look, this person seems to be rectifying his consciousness. Watch him. He wrote to me saying that he is surrendering to me. So the prison authorities begin to watch him. And they see that yes, this prisoner has become really good. He is becoming surrendered. And then what happens? These prison authorities don't treat him like a prisoner anymore. They treat him as a special person. And then when they see that he is behaving very nicely, then they make him the role model. Tells the other prisoner, look, become like him. Look what he has done. He has surrendered to the king and look at the facilities that he is getting. And the prisoner also goes and tells others that look, I surrendered to the king. I wrote a letter to him. And since then, look at my life. I'm treated as a first class. I was about to say prisoner. But I've been treating in such a special way. I'm not treated as a prisoner anymore. So why don't you also surrender to the king? And when the king sees that this person has become so good, he is serving him so nicely. So then the king tells the prison authorities, release him. And then the king sends his own personal car to him to pick the prisoner up and bring him to his palace. So if it's a question of becoming free from the prison, which way you want to become free from it? Second one. How many of you want to get out of the prison in that way? Don't feel shy. Okay. So that is the intelligent thing to do. Now, if this material nature is considered to be prison house, whose prison is this? The King of Kings, the Lord's prison. And we all are prisoners. What's our crime? That we disregarded the Lord. And as a result of that, we are put into the prison and we are undergoing various types of punishments. Now, if we surrender to the Lord, then does the Lord hear? Didn't he say, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam? Surrender unto me and I will take care of you in all respects. And he is sitting in our hearts. So when he surrenders, immediately he recognizes that. And we start to get a different kind of treatment. How many of you think that ever since you surrendered yourselves to Krishna, your quality of your life has improved? Wonderful. So this is the lesson that has been taught in Srimad Bhagavatam in a very, very wonderful way. Has the understanding become clear? In last few days? Did you learn something? Okay, now you're going to practice it? Yeah? Okay. Thank you very much. And the 11th canto, like remember the first day I mentioned that Srimad Bhagavatam is the body of the Lord. The body has 12 limbs. So Bhagavatam has 12 cantos, signifying the 12 limbs of the body of the Lord. First and second cantos, the first two cantos, are the lotus feet of the Lord. Third and fourth are the thighs. Fifth, very good, abdomen, belly. Sixth,
chest.
Seventh and eighth,
Arms.
Ninth,
Neck.
10th,
Smiling lotus face.
the smiling lotus face of the Lord. Okay, so up to 10th we covered and we are left with two more. So 11th, the forehead, and 12th,
The head.
So 11th canto, the very wonderful aspect of 11th canto is Uddhav Gita. There is, Krishna instructed Uddhav. And Uddhav spoke the wisdom that he learned. He actually narrated the incident, the story of an avadhuta, a wandering mendicant who lost all his external consciousness. So that avadhuta had 24 gurus. And he spoke about what he learned from these 24 spiritual masters. So that is called the Uddhav Gita. It's a very beautiful aspect of Srimad Bhagavatam. And so, when you go home, are you going to read Srimad Bhagavatam?
Yes.
How many of you are going to read it regularly? Thank you. And so make it a point to read this 11th canto very nicely. And the 12th canto describes different kings that will come. Srimad Bhagavatam was written 5,000 years ago, spoken 5,000 years ago. And Srimad Bhagavatam, from that time onwards, the rulers that will come and rule over this planet have been described. And then different incarnations of the Lord has been described. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga and Kali Yuga. So who will come in the age of Kali? The incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been described as Krishna Varnam, Tishat Krishnam, Sangapangastra Parshadam, Yaggai Sankirtana Prayai, Jajanti Sumedha. In this incarnation, the Lord will come chanting His own name, Krishna. He will assume the complexion like that of molten gold. The complexion of the Lord is like blue sapphire, Ujjwal Nilamani. Sometimes it's described as a monsoon cloud. And the Prabhupada said that These are just some similes that have been drawn, but Lord's complexion cannot be compared with any material color or material things. His complexion is completely spiritual. These are just some analogical understanding. Sometimes it's been described as blue as sapphire. Sometimes it's been described, there's a flower called Aparajita, dark blue color. Sometimes his complexion has been described as the monsoon cloud, Ghanashyam. But this incarnation, the Lord will come as gold with a fair complexion, golden complexion. And that is the complexion of Srimati Radharani. Krishna will assume the mood of Srimati Radharani. What is the mood of Srimati Radharani? The mood of Srimati Radharani is the mood of devotion to Krishna. So he will assume that bhav or the mood, Mahabhav Swarupini Radha Thakura. Assume the mood of Srimati Radharani. Bhava and Duti means complexion. Radharani's mood and Radharani's complexion. What is Radharani's complexion like? Radharani's complexion has been described as Kumkumakta Kanchanabja Garbhohari Gaurabha Pita Nanchi Tabja Gandhu Kirti Nindi Shaurabha. Kumkumakta Kanchanabja. Kumkum is a red that is used for putting the dots on the head. Kumkum, red, and of kumkum blended with Kanchanabja. Kanchan means gold. Like the molten gold, if gold melts, it develops a very bright, beautiful golden color. And now kumkum is mixed with that, then what will happen? And that is the complexion of Srimati Radha. Kumkumakta kanchanabja garbhohari gaurabha Pitananchi tabja gandha kirti nindi shaurabha. So Krishna will assume this mood of Srimati Radharani and the complexion of Srimati Radharani and come. Assuming the mood means assuming the mood of devotion. So Krishna will come as a devotee. So in this age, Krishna will come assuming the mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani. That is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what will he do? How will he come? Sangapangastra Parshadam. He will come with his angas, with his parts. Upanga, sub-parts. Parshad, associate. And Shangapanga and Astra. Astra means weapon. But the amazing thing is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't seem to have appeared with any weapon. Krishna's weapons are disc, lotus disc and mace. And sometimes he uses bows and arrows, sometimes sword. But did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come with any of these weapons? He came with a very special weapon. Krishna's weapons are meant for what? Why does Krishna use weapons? To kill the demons. So in this incarnation, Krishna will use a very special kind of weapon to kill the demons. What is that weapon? Love. Isn't love the most powerful weapon? So with this love, he will kill the demons. The demons may come. Mahaprabhu's mood is, come. I love you. You want to kill me? You want to beat me up? I love you. That is what Haridas Thakur displayed. That is what Nityananda Prabhu displayed, assuming the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Haridas Thakur was being beaten mercilessly in 22 marketplaces. The idea was to kill him in public, but beat him like that. But what was Haridas Thakur's mood? He was chanting the holy name and his inner mood was, beat me, I love you. I love you. They're beating and Haridas Thakur's approach is, I love you. And as a result of that, Krishna actually became worried. Krishna said, Krishna at that time, he wanted to release his Sudarshan Chakra to kill those miscreants. But when Krishna saw that Haridas Thakur is displaying his love for them, his Sudarshan Chakra became ineffective. So this is the mood of a devotee. Okay? This is how one will deal with the demon. Nityananda Prabhu showed Madhai hit him with this broken pot, clay pot of alcohol. And Nityananda Prabhu was bleeding. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to kill him with his Sudarshan Chakra. When Nityananda Prabhu fell at his feet and said, please, my Lord, you have taken a vow not to use any weapon in this incarnation. So that's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu desisted. And Nityananda Prabhu embraced Jagai and Madhai. And that's how they were spared. So from that, what do we learn? Like, that is our business. And that expression of love will be shown by chanting the holy name of the Lord. That's why we are here. Therefore, at least one thing you all must try to do. That create a very nice and conducive and favorable and loving environment among yourselves. Don't fight. Don't quarrel. Because that is Kali's business. Kali will come in the form of quarrel to create dissension among devotees. Mind you, the worst enemy of Kali is this Sankirtan movement. The worst enemy of Kali are the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So do you think Kali will take it lying down, the attack? Kali will attack. As the Sankirtan movement, will spread, as more and more devotees will become engaged, then you'll notice one thing. Kali will come in the form of a quarrel. And he will create dissension among the devotees. And that is how the devotees will deviate from their main business and they'll become weak. They'll become divided means weak. United means strong. So our business, Sankirtan movement, is meant to create that unity among the devotees in such a way that Kali will run for his life. Whenever Kali hears the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, mind you, Kali's heartbeat, his heart starts to palpitate. His palpitation starts. The sound of Mridanga, sound of Kirtan. Kali says, my God, what's happening? This is supposed to be my time to rule. And look what's happening. These ISKCON devotees are too much. So what will Kali try to do? Kali will try to create dissension. And when dissension begins, then what will happen? Actually, in that respect, we can consider the history. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur established a very, very powerful association of devotees in the form of Gauriya Math. But soon after Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur left, what happened? They started to fight among themselves. And the result is, preaching stopped. The wonderful mission that he started is finished. Srila Prabhupada emphatically told us not to make the same mistake that his godbrothers made after Guru Maharaj's disappearance. What was the mistake? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur suggested that they collectively spread the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But instead of collectively spreading the movement, they started to fight among themselves. And the result we have seen. On the other hand, we see in ISKCON, because the devotees, especially the leading devotees, senior devotees, are sticking to Srila Prabhupada's instructions, acting according to Srila Prabhupada's instructions to collectively manage the institution. As a result of that, what's happening? 38 years after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, ISKCON is becoming stronger and stronger. The sign is Krishna consciousness movement is spreading. So remember that this is the secret of our success. Remain united at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada in his ISKCON. And the rest will automatically happen. The more strong we, more united we become, more effective will become our mission. More powerfully, the movement will spread all over the world. So whenever there is any possibility of quarrel, what will you do? Give in to your fighting? Quarreling is very exciting. It makes your adrenaline become very active. Your heart feels really excited. It happens. But then the result is what? Therefore, don't fall for that. No matter how tempting the prospect of quarrel may sound. Don't quarrel, don't fight. Whenever there is a possibility of quarrel, what should you do? Remember that Kali is trying to attack. And avoid that possibility of quarrel. And the best way to avoid that possibility of quarrel is sit down and chant Hare Krishna. Call him also with whom you are supposed to fight. Let's all sit down together and let's all chant the holy name. Why are you fighting? What is there to gain in this world? All we want is to become totally absorbed in Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. Therefore, always remember that unity is the secret of success of spreading this movement all over the world. Do you remember one of the most important instructions of Srila Prabhupada before he left this planet? Prabhupada's one of the most important instructions is, your love for me will be shown by how you cooperate with each other. Prabhupada is saying, how you cooperate with each other. But instead, if Prabhupada sees that we are quarreling with each other, what will happen? No matter how much you say, Prabhupada, I love you, I love you, I love you. But Prabhupada says, well, I know. What is the extent of your love? If you love me, cooperate. No matter how difficult it may appear to be. No matter how difficult it may look like. This is how we have to show our love for Srila. Incidentally, I will also mention two other instructions of Srila Prabhupada that I consider to be very, very important, at least for me, and I have seen how they affected, how they saved me. The other one is, other two are, no matter whatever happens, don't leave ISKCON. Remember that? And GBC is the ultimate managing authority. In order to be together, in order to hold on to together, we have to have a structure. Now what is that structure? Which authority we will listen to? According to Prabhupada's instruction, Prabhupada's will, GBC is the ultimate managing authority. Sometimes even some senior devotees questioned, where did Prabhupada say that? At that time I didn't really know, I couldn't find any written statement. But then I found Prabhupada's will. The first thing Prabhupada mentioned in the will, in his will, the GBC is the ultimate managing authority. That is what Prabhupada's words. So have full respect in the GBC. Even if they do wrong, even if they make mistakes, follow them. It happened to me. I was not at GBC all the time. There was a time when I was not at GBC. And I saw GBC made some decisions which were not really right. I saw some massive political maneuvering by the GBCs, and they did something which was not really right. But remembering Srila Prabhupada's instruction, I said, if GBC decided that, I will follow. And then what happened? Prabhupada corrected them. GBC did something at that time, I'm talking a long time ago. There was a political maneuvering to do something. Okay, I'll tell you what actually happened, what broke my heart. One person who was a guru and a GBC, and he fell down. And although he fell down, through some political means, he was propped up. What should have happened? If somebody fell down, can he remain as a guru? No. Can he remain as GBC? No. But some GBC members, and they put him up, and although he fell down, and anyway, so, I mean, in one of the meetings I heard that one of the GBC member who was trying to prop up their idea was that if we allow a guru to fall down like that, then our structure will be affected. Later on, some suspected, because they themselves were fallen, they were afraid. That if they set the standard that fallen means you get out of guruship. Stay in ISKCON, but not as a leader, not as a guru, not as a genius. So anyway, they made a massive political maneuvering. They even told that over their dead body, somebody will do something to this person who they were trying to prop up. That happened in the month of March. April, May, June, in 3 months' time, those who were trying to prop him up, they themselves fell down. So, and from that I learned a very big lesson. That even if something goes wrong with the GBCs, even if they make a wrong decision, I should not worry about it, because Prabhupada is going to take care. Because this is Prabhupada's movement. Prabhupada is still here. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is still watching it, protecting it, guarding it, guiding it. So, that is how we should try to at least follow these 3 instructions with full conviction. Your love for me will be shown. Very good. Your love for me will be shown by how you cooperate with each other to push this movement forward. Not cooperate with each other to have a picnic. But cooperate with each other to push this Sankirtan movement forward. No matter whatever happens, don't leave this. And the GBC is the ultimate. What is ISKCON? Sometimes people ask. Sometimes those who left ISKCON, they say that what they started, that's the real ISKCON. So sometimes somebody challenged me like that ours is real ISKCON. And I tell them that real ISKCON, the definition of real ISKCON is what Prabhupada has given. ISKCON is the institution where Prabhupada is the founder Acharya, and the GBC is the ultimate managing authority. So wherever we have that structure, that is real ISKCON. You may start your ISKCON. And they say Prabhupada left Gaudiya Math and started his own thing. Prabhupada didn't leave Gaudiya Math. When Gaudiya Math hopelessly fell apart, then only Prabhupada started ISKCON. If Gaudiya Math was intact, Prabhupada would have stayed in Gaudiya Math and continued. Anyway, we are seeing with the passing of time how devotees are making mistakes, and from their mistakes we are learning. We are seeing those who have left ISKCON, what happened to them? Sometimes they leave ISKCON. Many of them don't leave ISKCON with their own strength. They know that they don't have any ability to do anything. Therefore, they often leave ISKCON rallying behind somebody. They rally behind somebody and they think that they are going to start something which is even bigger than ISKCON, greater than ISKCON. But what do we see with the passing of time? That when these personalities that they were rallying around, when they leave the planet, everything fizzles out. As long as they are there, they create some wave. But when those personalities are gone, they fizzle out. Whereas ISKCON is becoming stronger and stronger. And this is the unique arrangement of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's greatness will be shown ultimately through the institution that he has created. Because this institution will keep on expanding, keep on spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. And as a result of that, everybody will see who is the founder Acharya of this institution, Srila Prabhupada. And as it is, what Srila Prabhupada achieved, no one in the past has achieved that. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is the most munificent appearance of the Lord, the Lord's most munificent appearance. But he allowed Srila Prabhupada to achieve something that is beyond what he had done. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and gave Krishna consciousness, spread it only throughout India. But he predicted all over the world, it will spread. Now who made it happen? Are we so blind that we don't see it? Srila Prabhupada. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself wanted to give this inconceivable credit to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada gave the legacy to all his followers. Few days before Srila Prabhupada left the planet, two very important acquaintances of Srila Prabhupada came to see him. One was the ex-governor of Madras, And the other was the chairman of or the proprietor of a very big industry. Sriman Narayan and Ramakrishna Bajaj. And they asked Srila Prabhupada, who is going to be his successor? You know what was Prabhupada's response? I'm not going to appoint any successor. I give the legacy to all my devotees. Whoever follows will have the legacy. So whoever follows will have the legacy, will have the responsibility to inherit Srila Prabhupada's legacy. So that's a glorious gift that we have received from Srila Prabhupada. Now let's go out and distribute it all over the world. And you may think, well, what can I do? But the answer is, don't worry. These little drops of water fill up the ocean. Even though you are doing something very insignificant, very little according to your calculation, but this collective effort to spread Krishna consciousness will have an inconceivable result. Just as drops of water fill up the ocean, little endeavor from all of you will create an inconceivable effect, and the result will be obvious. Every town and village all over the world. It will happen. Mahaprabhu's words is not going to go in vain. Bound to. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanandi.